you gotta keep it true to yourself.
I don't want to. It's one of those. It's like, oh, you should get help. It's like, no, I'm exactly how I want it.
Yeah.
What can we expect in this match? Probably some cantrips, probably some fetching, probably some board wipes, probably some force of wills. Exciting stuff going on.
Let's even do the play.
Sounds like Audrey is on the play.
With integrity, they were mutually corrupt.
I'll keep this.
Yeah, me too. Yes, sir.
All right, turn one ponder for Audrey. We are underway. Nice Dungeons & Dragons. Is it 50th anniversary of Dungeons & Dragons ponder? Don't know, but probably. Weed William, thank you for the resub. 25 months. Appreciate that. Keith Master Flex says, I will gift a sub for every fourth earlingus that resolves. That is big.
Good.
All right, just as we expected, fetch lands, surveilling, cantripping. Swords of Plowshare is not a card that Audrey needs, so it was dumped into the graveyard. We had some guests this week, some visitors, some tourists, visiting from other countries, visiting from out of town at the locals this past week. And it's been pretty cool to see people kind of taking a holiday or a vacation to New York City and making a stop at the Legacy Locals on their trip. It's a pretty cool thing. You hear the stories about like, yeah, my partner is at the Airbnb, had to come out and jam some Legacy kind of thing. Or, the family's at a museum tonight or something, whatever. At a show. And here I am playing Legacy with you fine people. It's pretty cool.
I go to brain surgery instead.
You can brain surgery instead.
Brain Surge. Force of Phil doing Force of Phil stuff.
My cards.
Yes, I'll move to discard.
All right, Phil moving to discard. Discard's a copy of Terminus, so we got a full hand.
Fetch twice? Yep.
Audrey will fetch twice.
You pitch the
Yep.
Lorien revealed a 5-mana Ancestral Recall. I spotted Jace the Mind Sculptor in Audrey's hand. Audrey will now discard to hand size the Swords to Plowshares. Both players just stocking up on resources, I guess, and trying to craft hands that could break through the other's defenses and win this game. What kind of win cons could these decks have? Phil, I mean, if you've been watching our streams for a while, you're aware that Phil uses stuff like Entreat the Angels and Triumph of St. Catherine. Audrey more likely to have newer cards like, well, Triumph is pretty new, but Fourth Year Lingus comes to mind. Another one of these ponders getting fired off. Just both players sculpting their hands. Eventually, there's going to be a clash over win cons.
Sorry, before the draw. Yeah.
Another ponder. Just taking a look at the top. It's going to be maybe a little while longer before we see some big action. Deduce on end step. That's a deduce for Phil. Make a clue, draw a card, 2 mana. Force of Phil says, how do we feel about graveyard above the library versus graveyard below the library? Force of Phil asking the big questions. And Force of Phil is the one doing it right. Audrey's doing it wrong. I'm just gonna say that. All right, here's an attempt. Jace the Mind Sculptor is on the stack. Let's see what Force of Phil has to say about it. Unlikely it's not going to get... All right, so Force of Phil casting a Force of Will. Audrey pitching a Supreme Verdict to a Force of Will. I was going to say unlikely that Force of Phil would say, oh, that resolves. All right, Phil fetching here with Jace still on the stack. Mystic Sanctuary.
Targeting. Yep.
You can keep it. Oh, no.
I think there's like 7 people.
Okay, Deduce has been targeted by Mystic Sanctuary. Another fetch. Another Mystic Sanctuary. This is with the other Mystic Sanctuary trigger still on the stack. Jace still on the stack.
Deduce on top.
Yeah, sorry. Force of Will and then Deduce. Yeah.
Okay, so on top of the library, maybe I lost track a little bit, but on top of the library, Deduce and then Force of Will. Here's a Brainstorm. Spell Pierce. Okay. Okay.
Cards up. 3. On the Jace.
And there's the Thwart returning to Mystic Sanctuaries. Force pitching Tameo. I told everybody this was going to happen. There's going to be a fight. Force of Phil scoops. And that's how it goes. Audrey takes game 1. Wow.
Yeah. They all splash green. Yeah. Nice
I'll keep this.
Yeah, nice.
Sure.
But like some of them were like
Good.
Black Thunderstorm.
Misty Rainforest. Flooded Strand. So there was this build-up in game 1 towards one player trying to resolve a win con or a powerful spell like Jace the Mind Sculptor, right? Jace could be a win con. And then there'll be a big fight over it, and then whoever wins that fight likely wins the game.
Yep.
I guess Audrey had double Force and Spell Pierce. Phil had Thwart, Force, a way to put Brainstorm, a way to put Force of Will back on top, and then Brainstorm for it. So the game 2 post sideboard likelihood that we see the game play out very similar to game 1 is high. The players will be sculpting their hands with cantrips, and then one of them will try to break through the other's defenses again. All right, here's a Brainstorm on end step for Audrey. Yeah, there's a kind of maybe there's an overlooked aspect of being a control player that maybe some newer players to formats like Legacy overlook, where you do have to like play kind of quickly. Like there is a clock. You don't want to lose the match 0-1, right? Ideally, you want to complete the match. And there just isn't a lot of time to be like spending, you know, a full minute on a brainstorm resolving or something like that. So experience is kind of important, I guess. All right, here's the Fairy Time Raveler. That'll be interesting.
Minus draw. I'll pass.
Keith Master Flux with a great question. What is the sideboard strategy here? Does any take out forces? Okay. So this kind of fluctuates over time. I'm going to look at like the past 10 years of Legacy. You'll have different approaches to sideboarding with control versus other control, depending on the makeups of those control decks. I think in this current format, you might see some players cut some stuff like Force of Will because it's too... All right, here's Counterbalance. That's going to be something Audrey's going to have to react to. Pyroblast. And Teferi Time Raveler is going to protect this Pyroblast, so Counterbalance is countered. Continuing my thought, spells like Pyroblast come in, so you no longer have to always 2-for-1 yourself with Force of Negation or Force of Will to counter something, right? You can just Pyroblast it. And usually there aren't 4 Pyroblasts in the sideboard, so maybe a Force or 2 gets cut. Maybe the players will cut most of their like single creature removal spells like Swords to Plowshares. That was a Prismatic Ending taking out Teferi. So Prismatic Endings stay in for Phil, which makes a lot of sense. Expecting to see Narsets and Teferis and stuff like that. Maybe Audrey considers the possibility of Triumph of St. Catherine in sideboarding. Board wipes like Terminus and Supreme Verdict kind of lose some value in these matchups. That's Narset resolving. It finds a Brainstorm on its first tick down. Audrey's in the chat mentioning that he knew Phil was on Mentors. Okay, well, perfect timing. Here's Monastery Mentor, and then a Counterbalance.
Respond to it first. Yep.
In response to Counterbalance, Swords on Monastery Mentor. There's a Monk token on the stack that's represented by the Yu-Gi-Oh card on Phil's side. Monastery Mentor is eliminated. A Monk gets created. So with the information Audrey had coming into this game, apparently, that Phil is running Monastery Mentor, some number of swords, I guess, stayed in. But I think if anybody still has questions, let me know. But I think I explained the sideboarding situation. Pew Pew, thank you for the resub. 20 months and a message. Vexing Bobble poisoned our water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague onto our houses. Pew Pew struggling right now. Struggling. Force of Phil in the chat with some thoughts on it. I think this matchup is less a control mirror and more so a prison versus control matchup in that Jeskai Walkers have permanents that effectively end the game if they resolve. So the game becomes entirely about 8 to 10 pieces of cardboard and everything else is irrelevant. Audrey's saying, I keep Wrath of the Skies for the tokens and Counterbalance, but cut the Supremes. Long games I don't have as much recursion as Phil, but my players are more forceful. So Tameo now on the board. Tameo is a creature Phil would consider when sideboarding. That was a deduce. Yu-Gi-Oh card is a clue. Jace the Mind Sculptor hits the stack again. Okay, Source of Plowshares takes out Tamio successfully. Audrey with no blue mana available to flip that Tamio in response, so a little bit of defense is down for Tamio at that moment. Jace will Fate Seal, leave the card on top, which you don't usually want to hear. Phil does have a fetch, which could change the top of the deck. Also has a clue, which could draw through the unwanted card. Phil chose to draw it. Some mind games come up with these Jace Fate Seal activations too, where you know your opponent can fetch and the whole thing. Narset, it will minus. Gets legendary ruled into the graveyard. The old one does. Liubo with a question, finally making it to the live stream. Which Jace is the best Jace? Great question. It's probably still Jace the Mind Sculptor, I guess, right? Is there another Jace I'm forgetting? I mean, Unraveler of Mysteries is like probably the second most played Jace in Legacy, I think. Tank Terry says Jace Vryn's Prodigy. I do miss the days when Jace Vryn's Prodigy was running around.
Plus.
Yep.
Jace, the Mind Sculptor, though, moves up to 9 loyalty, taking a look at the top of Phil's deck. Puts the card on the bottom this time. Audrey with a decent hand. Brainstorm, Power Blast, Force of Will are face up. Narset's going to minus, finds a Teferi. Not much going on Phil's side except a bunch of lands at the moment. Teferi Time Raveler on the stack. Deduce in response. Makes a clue. Gonna try and counter Teferi. Force of Will, pitching. Brainstorm. Pyroblast getting fired off here. Makes a lot of sense. Hydroblast back. Ice Age block constructed. Force pitching Brainstorm using the face-up cards. Phil's Hydroblast and Force of Will a counter. Teferi is in. Plus Teferi, pass the turn, it sounds like. Tank Terry says Ice Age was very interesting back in 95. You know what, Tank Terry? The Ice Age set was a mistake. Okay? Okay, surveils a Tundra into the graveyard. Teferi plus, Jace plus. Take a look. 11 loyalty now for Jace the Mind Sculptor. 12 loyalty required to do its ultimate. Phil's going to crack a clue. Phil's hand is revealed. And a scoop. Audrey gets it. GG's. GG's. A great look at Control versus Control here in late end 2024 Legacy. That was a pleasure to watch. GG's. We will set up another poll for the Twitch chat. Keep things moving along. Which match next? Your options will be Esper Control versus Blue-Black Tempo. Miracles versus Painter. Esper Control versus Storm. Jess Sky Control versus Reanimator. Or Bant Spellseeker versus Breakfast. Wait, what? Two minutes to vote. Get your vote in. Okay, votes are coming in. Yeah, Phil and Audrey still discussing the previous match in the chat. The both decks are capable of kind of deploying these lock piece cards like Teferi, Narset, Counterbalance that disable a lot of plays for the other, and the game can kind of unravel from there as far as being a back and forth. Just becomes one player able to take game actions and the other cannot. Humpty Dumpty says Phil's deck is so beautiful. I agree. Phil has a nice collection. People curious about the Spellseeker deck. About a minute left for votes. Our Discord is up on your screen, of course. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord. Almost out of time on this poll. Close vote. And the winner is Esper versus Demir. Slosh the Dart contributed 4,600 channel points. Thank you, Slosh. Appreciate that. Let's set this up. Let's set it up. Oh, crap. I forgot what I'm doing. I have to go back and check. Oh, Esper versus Demir. Diving in.
Putting into it, 0. Even a machine, 0.
I'll even.
Evens.
There's also. There's Eels.
I roll first.
Bro, my luck's turning around. I got to play on the last. This and the last one.
Okay, joining us on the left with Esper is David, and on the right we have John with Demir Tempo. Getting ready to go.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Sounds good. Good luck.
Wow, it's the Logan.
No land.
Nile Spellbomb passed the turn off a basic planes. Very interesting. Very interesting. Seems like a misplay.
My first time's ever Plains gaming.
Plains, it is.
That was the only color I've never played in Legacy.
Okay, the only color David has never played in Legacy is white, I guess.
I picked up 2 Tundras at EW, so I own a minimum of 2 of all the blue duels.
Nice.
What a bragger. All right. Flitted Strand comes in. John with just a polluted Delta.
Oh, and Badlands. But I'm going to buy either a Savannah or a Scrub off Common.
With your infinite amount of...
Infinitely more lands than last time. Alright, I will put back this one. Alright, proceed.
Okay, I'm gonna pitch.
All right, here's a brainstorm for John.
That gave you a headache. Oh, yeah. Cool.
We'll cast 10.
2 Eshok with 2 on top, right?
We'll pass up to that.
How many have in your hands?
I will have 7.
I go first.
Huh?
I went first, right?
Yeah, so I should have 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking no.
All right, that's a wasteland for John. Players are making sure that they're with the right amount of cards in hand, it sounds like. Undercity Sewer, Surveil on end step. Big plays.
Makes sense.
It opens me up to a lot more decks.
Yeah. Surreal resolve.
Top.
Stifle? Okay. The 2 of Stifle.
All right. Another Wasteland for John. Took out the Undercity Sewer with the previous Wasteland.
Yes. I just won't keep track of it.
Pass.
Impending overload.
No. Go to discard.
Sounds like John is going to discard. Discarding a Daze. Okay. So we can guess that John's hand is more reactive than having creatures. Otherwise, the creatures would likely be played. It's not like there are any 5-drop creatures in these tempo decks. Another Wasteland gets played. So we're able to make a move that turn. Not have to discard to hand size. There's a Brainstorm for David. It's going to resolve. No Bowmasters. Storm, thank you for the reset with Prime. 4 months. Appreciate that.
Drop. Yep.
Oh, no, not turn. It just keeps checking. It's not like it has a point on your turn. It just says,
New sub goal set.
But if I waited for
for does things.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's it turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it turn?
Play blind for 10.
That's not the initial trigger.
I don't.
There's a way you could do it where
Did you miss this?
All right, players losing track of land drops a little bit here. Those moments where you're not sure if you played a land. I don't think David played a land yet. Has he? I don't know. Polluted Delta getting correct here.
This was. Yep. 2 Bowmaster.
Yeah. Forgot that. I'm just
Dropping her for 1. And your ponders resolve.
Still not used to playing with this card.
Legacy Hype says, I'm back from holidays in Prague. Lots of people in the 90s MTG community. Took a trip to Prague over the past weekend. If you're watching this later on YouTube, maybe it was years ago. Who knows? But Prague, a very nice city. Very cool place. I'm a fan. I wasn't there this time, but hope everybody had fun.
You did. Whenever one of your creatures die, one of my creatures dies.
All right, Psychic Frog. There it is, everybody. Fatal Push getting fired off. Taller Eric with an announcement. I am here and ready to talk about bans in whatever way antagonizes the chat the most. All right, let's hear it, Taller Eric. What do you got? What are we banning? If it was all up to Taller Eric, what would be banned? Tech 13, thank you for the reset with Prime. 18 months. That's a new badge. Really appreciate it. Jay Liddy says unban Psychic Frog. Maybe put that on suspend, Jay Liddy. Here is the Nethergoyf. One of my favorite cards to come out this year. It was in Modern Horizons 3. Modern Horizons is all bad. Okay. I like Nethergoyf. Big fan.
What's the power?
Not bad.
What's the power?
Instant land.
Instant land. Swords.
Swords on Nethergoyf. Power creep. And it's exiled.
Nadu will resolve.
Equip trigger.
Trigger on the stack. Sacrifice.
All right, passing back to John.
There we go. There we
Jay Liddy says ban Mishra's Bauble. Tall Eric wants to ban Force, Wasteland, and unban Library of Alexandria. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Pew Pew says ban attractions and stickers again. Audrey says unban all the cards I like and ban all the ones I don't. That's basically how it works, Audrey. Snapcaster Mage, everybody. An old favorite. Round of applause. Force of Will, pitching Daze. Okay. Trying to go after this Snapcaster. We had some ideas that John's hand would be full of interaction. Force pitching Daze on David's side now. And I guess Snapcaster resolves. Swords to Plowshares. The frog is gone.
I played a land already.
Yeah, he played that.
Pass.
See?
Wasteland on Underground Sea. It's gone.
Combat.
Polluted Delta getting cracked here by David. Basic Swamp. Death from Above asking the right question. How does one destroy a sea? You know what? You're taking it too literally. It's about removing the mana from the land and making it no longer magical. And the graveyard is more poetic than anything. You can remove all life from a sea. You can poison a waterway and have it be uninhabitable by the life that once lived there, removing all of its removing all of its magic. You got to be imaginative, people. You people are too literal with this stuff.
Jupiter. Sure. Swing for 3.
Kaido, Bane of Nightmares.
I took that.
You took 3?
Doing the surveil thing here. Kaido, Bane of Nightmares, a really neat card from Duskmorn that is making its appearances in Legacy here and there, and is an interesting one. They brought back the ninjutsu mechanic, which I didn't ask for. Ninjutsu, a Snapcaster. Yeah, that is pretty neat.
Four.
Death from Above with a great question. What are you banning on Monday? If it was up to me, my approach would be to try to make as many people happy as possible, and it wouldn't be about what I personally like or don't like, or like what's on the spreadsheets or whatever. And I would clip Frog, Vexing Bauble, and Nadu if it were up to me. And I think that would make the most people happy. That's my guess.
It feels like it has a lot of play to it, though.
Standard?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder though why anyone even cares what I like. What I don't design the game. I don't know. I don't know, everybody. More people should just say they don't freaking know what should be banned.
This is the gun pick.
Everybody's like so sure of themselves. Like, actually, what would happen is this deck would rise to tier 1. You know what? None of you know what you're talking about. If I don't know, you don't know either.
And I like.
Why does everybody think they know? The hell do I know? I don't make games.
Yeah.
I don't even have a spreadsheet to look at. I don't think Legacy should have restricted cards, no. I don't think it works. Scalding Tarn gets cracked here. Ponder with John on the play here for game 2. Audrey says, I won't be happy until we're in a format where people are clamoring for Leyline Dowser to be banned. Wow. Wow. Keith Massaflex says, mods, please take note that Chris is not tracking spreadsheets anymore. Yeah. I'm busy. Storm says, Frog hate, unsubbed. Yeah. What about the frog?
Might be on the play.
All right. Good luck.
Good luck.
So,
13.
All right, there's that Nile Spellbomb again. The reality, though. The reality, I every time we go through, these months where everybody talks about bans for an entire month, the reality, though, and if you're in January and I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. It's going to be January, and people are going to be unhappy. People are going to be like, this format has power creep, and they're never going to be happy. So, whatever. The Legacy locals in New York City will continue. We'll have like 1 or 2 people back that like were super triggered by frogs and took a break, and whatever. It like barely matters to me, honestly. The ban unban discussion, it's just not an interesting topic for me. I don't control it. I have no say. I don't design the game. I don't make the cards. I'm just gonna go to FNM and jam and make these live streams, and I just don't care. I don't care that much. All right, here's Nethergoyf. Very interesting.
And then Surveil. Give it a back. Go.
And again, the perpetual misery of like Legacy is power creeped and it never will be what it was in 2014 ever again. It'll just continue. Like, these people will never be happy. They'll never, ever be satisfied and whatever. And when I see on Twitter and Reddit and Blue Sky or whatever, people just like whining and raging about what cards need to be banned, and it's like a month after we just had a ban, I just mute them, and I never see their posts ever again, and I think my life is better for it. All right, Flooded Strand, getting cracked here. So I guess when it comes to ban unbans, my biggest advice is just to mute people that are talking about bans like a month after we had bans. Just yeet them off the timeline.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, and especially the takes that are like, we need to ban all commander cards and universes beyond. That's a mute for me. Like that. I'm never seeing your post ever again. Here's Psychic Frog. Just like not a realistic solution to anything. LGSs with like collector booster boxes of Lord of the Rings sitting on the shelves. The Legacy players don't want to buy. Give me a break. All right, Fatal Push on Psychic Frog. Am I out of my mind? Like, am I the crazy one? Sometimes I really feel like, am I nuts? Like, am I crazy? I'm reading these Reddit posts and these tweets and whatever. I'm like, Am I out of my mind?
Yep.
Okay.
Keith Masterflex says you may be the crazy one. Okay. Fair enough. Both players with now spell bombs in play. Psychic Frog facing down a Nethergoyf. Modern Horizons, oh boy.
I really fucked that one up.
Fetch for John. That was a Misty Rainforest getting thrown away. Finds an Underground Sea. Audrey says, I don't care so much what gets banned, just having more frequent bans. Yeah, you know, I just don't care. Whatever. I mentioned on a previous stream one of my, like, I think there's so much comedy kind of like in being a Magic player. But one of my favorite things from this year was like this 1 or 2 weeks where people were screaming on social media about needing emergency bans while like the Wizards employees were all on vacation for the summer. And it's just like, what emergency? What are you talking about? Mighty Feldegriff, thank you for the reset with Prime. 8 months. And a message, EWEU was awesome.
By wolf, I mean a dog.
Looks like a 6/6 Murktide. Swords Plowshares hits it. It's down.
Sure. Death touch.
That's death touch?
Death touch.
Swing for 1, no effects.
It's gonna be January, and I'm gonna be sitting at the LGS between two people that are just like, why didn't they ban? And I'm gonna be like, oh my god, shut up. So good. It just never ends.
Yeah.
But what about the paintings? Oh. Did they do something about the paintings? It never ends. Polluted Delta gets cracked here. Frog, Nethergoyf still fighting. Both players trying to figure out how to get enough of an advantage in this game. Tameo just hit the board. That could be interesting. Only black mana available for David, though, so the brainstorm in response to removal not an option at the moment. Let's see if John goes after this Tameo. There's also a frog to deal with. Char Twin gifts 5 subs. Thank you, Char Twin. Appreciate that. Mr. Hart says losing the painting is actually something that super sucks, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's a fatal push on the frog. All right, going after the frog. Frog down. Oh, that was go for the throat, actually. My mistake. I think that was go for the throat. I didn't have every art memorized for a moment there. Audrey being a little bit reasonable here says losing the painting sucks, but I don't see anyone mentioning that they gave promo cards to top 32, which makes ending up 9th suck a lot less. I mean, if it's either or, the promos to top 32 or a painting to top 1, I take the promos, personally. The painting is whatever. Also, for a long time, I'm sure if they were able to, logistically, to make those painting cards, like the cards that it looks like, into promos to give out, they would have done that. But instead it was a painting that, like, the winner doesn't even keep. They sell it, and it just is like, what are we doing?
Wait a
Like, wait. Let me just double check.
It's not a combo, no.
Go to 7.
Sure.
0.
I almost would rather, instead of the painting, they just give me cash if I'm going to sell the painting anyway. Just give me the cash so I don't have to, like, put it on eBay. Don't make me go to FedEx. Just give me the cash.
Combat.
Stupid painting. Oh man.
Draw back.
Yep.
Cards.
I'll ping it. I'll ping it off.
What am I doing? Passive turn.
All right, fatal push this time on Tamio. Tamio down. Kaito made Bane of Nightmares on the board though. Let's get attacked by another Goyf, but David's cracking a fetch in response. Next to this Nile Spellbomb on David's side is a clue. Nile Spellbomb getting cracked here to lower Nether Goyf's power to 0.
I'll cast Fitting.
Yeah.
I'll need Misty Reinforce.
Yeah.
Zura, thank you for the Sobat Prime. 2 months. When we'll have a new ninjas list with Kaito? Yeah, we've had some ninja with Kaito in the queue at one point. We'll likely see that. Bowmaster. It will ping the Kaito, make an Orc army. Kaito only has hexproof when it's David's turn and while it's a creature.
Dig 7 cards deep.
3. Turn 3.
Okay, chump blocking the Kaito so that it cannot draw any cards this turn. Bowmaster, your Bowmaster. Making an Orc army with a mass. There's a clue available. Kaito with 3 loyalty at the moment. Hasn't been activated this turn, I believe. I guess Bowmaster could have shot John and like drew a card, but probably better to get the Bowmaster from the other side off the table. It did add 1 to Nethergoyf's power, but David has a potential chump blocker. Okay, Servelda Polluted Delta in the graveyard. Left the other card on top. Didn't get to draw. Barrowgoyf. Barrowgoyf getting dazed, though. Force pitching Ponder. Barrowgoyf is in. Storm says Kaito is such a cool design. I really like this Kaito card a lot. Yeah, I agree.
Keep.
Didn't have the album.
No Alpha. Mulling down the Alpha. Sick bastard.
Sign says the painting TK got was traded for like 15K monies and a legacy collection. Yeah, I think someone mentioned it on last week's stream. Personally, I'd rather just someone hand me the 15K in money and a legacy collection and not have to deal with selling a painting. Personally.
It's only triggering one.
What's the point of the painting then?
So yeah, they're all.
So someone else can put it on their wall? Some like rich person can pay 15K for it and put it on their wall? I don't understand what we're doing. Like, its purpose as a trophy is just not relevant. All right, here's Barrowgoyf. Yeah, does the painting count as a carry-on? Yeah, I don't even want to think about traveling with that thing. Audrey says, I would keep the painting and bring it to the LGS to brag. Yeah, that's one option you have.
Yep.
Once again, like, am I the crazy one? Am I out of my mind? I don't know. All right. Tapping Barrowgoyf. 2 stun counters on it, represented by the die with +2/+2. Kaito and Barrowgoyf attacking here.
Am I dead yet?
I'm trying, dude.
Dextro, thank you for the resub. 18 months. 21 months, excuse me. 21 months. Wow.
I will choose to go.
Snapstar90, thank you for the resub with Prime 3 months. Ban Bobble, ban Frog. Takes are coming in. All right. Instead of untapping, removing a stun counter from Paraguay. Legacy players, by the way, have no idea what stun counters are. They have no clue. They never heard of it.
Overlord?
No.
What's a stun counter?
Even worse.
Is that from Yu-Gi-Oh? Nethergoyf attacking Kaido. Kaido with 1 loyalty. We know about a Bowmaster. It's getting flashed in. It's going to ping Nethergoyf, which has 2 types in the yard, so it's a 2/3. And then now Spellbomb will attempt to kind of finish off this Nethergoyf, and that should work. Nethergoyf dies. And it looks like John has scooped it up. GG's. David gets this one. Well played. Told Eric with a question. Do stun counters disrupt triggered abilities? No. I'm not sure if that was a serious question or not, but no. It just prevents untapping. I guess if untapping is a triggered ability, causes a triggered ability, then yes, it would stop that. Are there cards that say when this untaps, do something? Does that exist? I don't know that that exists. I can't even think of one card that has that. When this untaps... Huh. I don't know. Anyway. All right, let's set up another poll. Okay, apparently there are cards that do something when they untap. Which match next? Your options will be Spellseeker versus Breakfast. Or Esper Control versus Storm. Or Jeskai versus Reanimator. Or Spellseeker versus Initiative. Or Death and Taxes versus Jeskai, Ratchet, Ambulance, Brew. Two minutes to vote. Get your vote in. A lot of fans of the Ambulance deck. We'll see how this goes. King Makar. That's a good one. Yeah, King Makar. I do remember that card. That was in, like, Born of the Gods or something, right? There's a keyword about untapping. Inspired. Oh, yeah, the Inspired. Yeah, Audrey, absolutely right, though. The Inspired mechanic was a mistake. It was. It was. It's kind of crazy how many mechanics in Magic were mistakes, right? Like, why do they keep making mistakes all the time? Why don't they just not make mistakes? You know? Yeah. Storm says you had me at Spellseeker. All right, so some people are excited. Some people are voting. Some people are not. Triggered abilities in the untap step was so confusing. True. True. I wasn't playing much during first Theros block, but I was like first getting back into Magic around that time, but I hadn't like gone to an LGS yet. So I had a bunch of like Return to Ravnica block cards and Theros, original Theros block cards that I just kind of like, I don't even remember what I did. I guess I just, It was like some kitchen table stuff going on. I don't really remember what was going on at that time. Just me and my brother jamming. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Pain Seer was cool. I did like that card. Almost out of time on this poll. It looks pretty rigged. And we are out of time, it looks like. Death from Above contributed 8,800 channel points. Spellseeker versus Breakfast is up next. Let's do it. This should be fun. This Spellseeker deck, we may never have seen on 90s MTG before. So, brace yourselves. Diving in. Joining us on the left is Jeff with Cephalid Breakfast, and on the right is Bant Spellseeker. That would be Matthew. The official name is Yes. Okay. Why is it called Yes? Tell us. Tell the class.
Is your deck?
And also tell me how calling it Yes will help us in Google searches. Yurion Ephemerate Spellseeker, yeah. Well, we'll explain what's going on a little bit once we get started here. But Yurion is revealed as a companion. It looks like Jeff has taken a mulligan. Matthew has kept 7. Storm threatening a riot. Yeah, I am not a fan of Nadu. I'm with those of you that want it banned. Not a fan. Looks like Jeff is keeping 6. All right, 1 card on the bottom for Jeff. We are ready to go. Matthew will start us off. Flooded Strand pass. Hoovian, thank you for the resub with Prime. 16 months. Happy holidays, everyone. Yes, happy holidays, everyone. Jeff will fetch.
Oh, sorry. I can't read this.
We're only acting.
Basically.
What was that?
Yeah, I said, yeah, basically.
Okay, that was a Windswept Heath cracked, it looks like. And a Tundra is found. Windswept Heath. That's a Ponder. Ooh, really nice looking Ponder, too. Signorna with a question. I have a question for you. What would you wish was good enough for Legacy, like making a creature land fetchable or lowering the cost of a card? I think it would be nice to have some tribal decks in the upper tiers again. Goblins, humans, spirits, merfolk, something like that. Although, personally, I think, well, I like decks like Hammer and decks from smaller formats like Modern getting a chance to shine in Legacy. We've had a few of those over the past few years. I liked the mono black aggro decks that were hot earlier this year. And that's about it.
Sure.
I also, and I talk about this every once in a while on stream, but I wish Legacy mana bases had more of a variety of different cards to choose from. every deck starting with like 4 Flooded Strand, 2 Tundras, 4 Pluto Delta, 2 Underground. I just find that very boring, and I like how in other formats you have like, okay, is this a Dark Slick Shores deck, or is this Drowned Catacomb deck, or how many Watery Graves do I want? And like that's more interesting for me personally. There's a Saga. I think more punishment for running duels and fetches would do a lot of good for Legacy personally. All right, now Windswept Heath getting cracked on Matthew's side. I don't know if both players knew what the other were on when they sat down for this match, so that could be interesting.
Beginning of your end step.
Legacy Amulet Titan when? I think, honestly, if there were a Legacy Amulet Titan deck, that would probably be fun. It would get some modern players curious about playing Legacy, probably, too, as a side effect. Hedge Maze. Surveil.
It's like 80 card Nadu.
No, they're in the stuff. What's this in the yard? On death draw? Pastor? Go ahead.
Okay, Urza Saga ticks up to 2. I also think like decks like 8 cast being popular again would be great. We had some discussion in our Discord recently about I always struggle talking about this stuff because I feel like people get they take it personally when I talk about their deck in a negative way. But generally, all right, here's Nadu Winged Wisdom hitting the stack. Let's see if Matthew has a response. Okay, Nadu is in. What I was going to say was generally, Legacy players, based on data I see from running this channel, Alapisa, thank you for the resub with Prime, 10 months. Appreciate it. Legacy players, as far as I can tell, do not like Thassa's Oracle decks. They do not like Dark Depths decks, except for lands. They do not like Painter. They like blue fair decks crashing up against each other. We talked about that earlier on today's stream. They like the tribal decks, goblins, not spirits, humans, stuff like that. They like 8 cast. Swords on Nadu. Nadu will trigger. Another Nadu. All right. They like Death and Taxes. So leading the format more towards things that Legacy players like and away from things they don't like. I think that's the challenge that Wizards has in front of them right now. I'll just leave it there. I don't know. I don't know how much people want to go on and on about that. But I think it would be, just a last thought on that, I think it would be good for Legacy to kind of like drop the popularity of decks like Breakfast and Painter and Doomsday and stuff like that a bit. Yeah. Toller Eric says, do you mean Legacy players don't like these decks or your YouTube viewers? I think it's a mixture of both. I think I can say with some certainty that most Legacy players don't prefer those decks. I can say that pretty confidently. Cephalid Illusionist, Shuko.
Yep.
Audrey says, I like the idea of companions. They did nothing wrong. I think companions were cool. Yeah, just a few of them were a little bit overpowered and people got upset. Narcomoeba, number 2. Continuing to mill here. Does Matthew have a way to stop this? We're going to find out. Doing the combo.
That's Dread Return, right? Okay.
Okay, Dread Return has been dumped into the graveyard. Jeff most likely going to mill this deck, try to Dread Return for Thassa's Oracle, and win the game.
Flashback to return. Target.
Cartoon? 6. Can I look at your yard real quick?
Okay, so the 3 creatures have been sacked. Dread Return targeting Thassa's Oracle is on the stack. Thassa's Oracle is in the graveyard. I believe Jeff said he had 6 cards in hand, and Matthew's looking through the graveyard with the Dread Return on the stack.
Force of Will. In response, I guess Orb's Chant.
Good against you.
Orum's Chant in response. Okay. Okay. Interesting that this is cast now.
Would have been cool if it did.
Force of Will. Pitching Nadu on the Orum's Chant.
You want me to stop playing mana abilities? All right.
Force pitching Force of Negation on the Force. This is all fighting over Orum's Chant now in response to Dread Return. Force pitching Memory's Journey.
Thassa's Oracle?
Surgical on Thassa's Oracle. Surgical in the main.
Yeah.
Nice game for this.
Wow. Okay, Surgical in the main plus Orum's Chant. Matthew takes game 1. Kind of steals it there. I don't think Jeff was prepared for main deck Surgical. Okay. Spellseeker deck showing some interesting disruption.
Okay. I'm going to play a Summoner's Pact. Sure. Get another mana guy.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
All right, Fledgestrand pass the turn. Matthew up a game here, drops a Tundra. Fledgestrand getting cracked. We might see a Surveil.
I'll be crazy if we stifle either.
He could actually fit into this list, but no stifles.
Decklists Archive. Surveil.
Spirit Guide.
Yep.
All right, left the card on top. Ponder. There's that nice Ponder again. So Jeff now knows he's against a deck that runs Orum's Chants and Surgical Extractions in the main. I'm not sure if Jeff fully understands what he's up against yet in this match, but Matthew's seen the entire deck on Jeff's side, at least the Game 1 version. So Matthew knows what's up. If I'm Jeff here, I'm a little bit worried. What other nasty surprises does Matthew have? That is Carpet of Flowers. It's a good one. Scary. Billosaurus Rex, thank you for the reset with Prime. 1 year as a member. 90s MTG is still the best MTG content on Twitch, says Bill. That's a big review coming in right there. Carpet of Flowers has resolved. Teferi Time Raveler using the mana. Brainstorm in response.
Exile. Notice Battle. Chromox. And I'm going to...
Down tick the fairy on nothing.
Okay, Teferi will just draw a card. Not going to bounce anything here. Nothing to bounce on Jeff's side. Pass the turn. Jeff also had double force in game 1 and still lost, which is a little demoralizing, maybe.
13 now, right?
Cancel again. Yes. Draw card. Play a Cabal Ritual. And I'm net 3. Is that a threshold?
Yep.
And I'm
Okay, fetching to 18 now is Jeff.
Metamorphose again.
There's a Savannah. Nadu didn't get to do much in game 1. Nope, gonna try a different land. Nadu didn't get to do much in game 1, but we saw the breakfast combo play out. Jeff's deck capable of winning very quickly with the breakfast combo. Ooh, Teferi Time Raveler. All right, so both players potentially going to lock the other out of instant speed stuff if this Teferi resolve. It looks like Teferi is not going to resolve. Force pitching Teferi. A backup Teferi thrown away. The Teferi advantage remains on Matthew's side, it looks like.
Make 3 blue.
Oh yeah,
Spellseeker.
or sacrifice an Echo Dominance. I'll grab my tendrils.
Put me to. Oh, that's 32.
And it's a walk.
Spellseeker is a tutor for instant or sorcery mana value 2 or less into your hand. Brainstorm is found. That's not too scary.
Actually, you almost. Yeah.
I almost whiffed.
Yeah.
Yeah, who has a better Teferi, Jeff or Matthew?
I mean, there's not much you can do. It's like if those 19 cards doesn't have any way to do
I know.
anything, you're just
Yeah, but what are the chances of 19 cards?
yeah.
Doesn't have
Literally a third of your deck.
You know?
Using the Brainstorm now.
These 2 pairs?
My draws haven't been.
Flooded Strand used now by Matthew. Uptick with Teferi. Or actually, ephemerate the Spellseeker. So I'm just gonna search again. Okay, that is an ephemerate on the Spellseeker, so going to search again. Ephemerate, a big part of this deck. And Orange Channel. I think there was some mana from Carpet of Flowers used in this turn. Orum's Chant is found. We saw Orum's Chant in game 1.
So probably again.
Pass to you. A little bit of vibration on the table, it sounds like. Sorry about that, everybody. All right, Orum's Chant is getting cast on upkeep. No kicker. So Jeff can't cast spell this turn, just passes the turn. Ephemerate on Spellseeker again. This time it goes into the graveyard. And now looking for another Ephemerate. So we're seeing a little bit of this Ephemerate Spellseeker action now. There'll be several turns of being able to search the deck. Eternal Witness. That'll return Ephemerate. Ephemerate on Eternal Witness. Return Orum's Chant. Gonna move to combat. Serenity for 1. Attack for 1 with Spellseeker. Orum's Chant back in hand. An Ephemerate in exile. Waiting for next turn. Orum's Chant on upkeep. Goes to the graveyard. Passing the turn. Eternal Witness cost 3 mana, but it was from the carpet. So Ephemerate now will blink Eternal Witness. Return Ephemerate back to hand.
Teferi will plus. Windswept Heath. Attack with Spellseeker.
White. I'm gonna ephemerate the Eternal Witness. Orb shot back. Ephemerate.
Okay, Ephemerate. Ephemerate. Returning Orum's Chant. Returning Force of Will. Twitch chat pointing out that Spellseeker should have been summoning sick. That is true. But I think we're demonstrating a lock here to some extent with the Ephemerates, the Spellseekers, the Orum's Chant, and the Eternal Witness. Here's Dryad Arbor. Orum's Chant cast again on upkeep.
You can play Joe Asada if you're still ahead of me.
Jeff is going to scoop it up, seeing that he's completely locked out of this game, thanks to Teferi. GG's. Spellseeker gets it. A really cool deck. Really cool. Okay. That was interesting. Let's keep things moving along. Let's set up another poll for the Twitch chat. Which match next? Your options will be Esper Control versus Storm, or Death and Taxes versus Jeskai Ambulance, the Ratchet Artifact deck. You saw it recently on stream. It's a Stoneblade deck, but not what people usually think of when they think of Stoneblade. We have Jeskai versus Reanimator. We have Bant Spellseeker versus Moon Stompy. Red Stompy. And we have Demir Tempo versus Jeskai Stoneblade. 2 minutes to vote. Get your vote in. Yeah, the Spellseeker was supposed to have Summoning Sickness, but it didn't matter. There was a hard lock, as Tank Terry points out. It was pretty much a lock at that point. It was going to be a long, slow, painful, ping for one every turn kind of ending to the game, probably. All right, votes are coming in on the poll currently happening in the chat for which match we'll watch next. Our Discord is up on your screen. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord. We also have a Patreon, which you can join. Storm says, which of these decks is highest on the spreadsheet? Probably, I think after watching the last match, I think Spellseeker is tier S. I think. It probably has a crazy win rate you wouldn't believe. Yeah. Votes are coming in pretty much leaning towards one direction right now. Lots of cool posts in the Discord these past few days. People picking up their first dual lands. Love to see it. Underground Sea. Attiller picked up. Almost out of time. And Roberts contributed 1,200 channel points. Death and Taxes versus Stoneblade. Jeskai Stoneblade. Let's do it. Let's do it. Diving in.
And one time he lava spiked me, so.
All right, on the left side of your screen, we have Roland on Death and Taxes. And joining us on the right with Jeskai is Sam. This should be fun.
I got so upset about Ratchet Field Medics because I was ready to wait.
Gigantha revealed as a companion. Urion revealed as a companion. Both players with companions. Roland refreshing his memory on Gigantha the Wellspring.
Mana symbol and schematics. Alright. So no good cards. Cool.
Am I on the play?
Roland reads Gigantha and says, okay, so no good cards in your deck.
Hey, you asked me that. I'm like, not unless you're giving it to me.
I kind of just said that without thinking about it. All right. Go on.
Me too.
I'm keeping.
You're keeping? Okay, go ahead.
All right, so both players have kept 7. Sam is on the play. Urza's Bobble. Going to take a look at a card in Roland's hand. Plateau is revealed. Very interesting. Raucous Theater, Surveil. Red-white Surveil land from Caller of Manor. You don't see the theater much.
Cast 2 and draw my
It's been a while since we've had a match on stream where both players have different companions. The Gigantha companion doesn't get seen much in Legacy, but when I see a Gigantha companion, I feel happy. Urza Saga. Oh crap! I called it the wrong name. Yeah, this is Elegant Parlor. I said Raucous Theater. That's a black-red one. Good catch by Akalith. Some people are paying attention. Elegant Parlor, exactly. That's what I meant. Prismatic Vista gets correct here. Yeah, you got to keep me on my toes. Good catch, though. Unlike most Legacy players, I have all the names of the surveillance memorized. I just said the wrong thing. Okay? So, there's that. You ask Legacy players what's the green-white surveil land called, they have no idea. They just have no idea what's going on.
Surveil? Yep. Sigo.
Stoneforge Mystic. Pre-war formal wear is found. It's getting swords, though.
Sure.
Alright, I'll take my turn.
Oh, I was like, what are you tapping for? Okay, that makes sense. Draw.
All right, so with Lava Spur Boots on the board, Urza Saga will tick up to 2. Unclear if Roland knows what he's up against here. Pretty clear what Sam is up against. Talking about from the players' perspectives as they're playing this game. Flooded Strand was the play. Let's see what Roland has. Roland's aware that constructs could start getting created now, and then a search where there's a saga could potentially find something nasty.
Attempt to reanimate my Archon.
Yep, so you have 6, then at 9, and I'm at 17. I'll discard SC.
I have, yeah, you're at 17. Yep. 17. Yep, and I'll draw for turn. Or not for turn, sorry, for off the Archon. I'll play this land.
Okay, Mother of Runes. Still a good card. Here in late 2024, the red-white Death and Taxes appears to be the most popular version of this deck. You'll see stuff like Ajani, Broadside Bombardiers, Ajani, Knockatl Pride, Felia. Well, is Felia in this deck? No, Felia's in the black-white version, usually. You get the idea. Chainsaw. Solitude pitching Mother Runes on the construct.
21. Pitching in. Leaving 5 cards in their hand.
Draw for ponder. Yep.
5 cards in Roland's hand. Sam's going to go to untap.
Make another one.
Sure. Draw. Combat.
Sam's going to make a construct. Now the search with Urza Saga. Swords on the construct in response.
Still get the chapter 3, right?
Swamp.
All right, still going to search the library. Chapter 3 of Urza Saga. What is Sam going to find? Both constructs were eliminated. Roland showing off some removal. We know about pre-war formal mirror in Roland's hand. No creatures to grab with it in the yard currently. Mother Runes is summoning sick at the moment.
Are you gonna let Eternal Weekend 2024 top 8 Dominic Bernaza do that to you?
I'm writing
I drew lands.
free coaching on how to play this deck. Reanimate Archon, profit.
Gotcha.
Pyrite Spellbomb is found. Okay, okay. Pyrite Spellbomb is interesting. And it gets around Mother Runes.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, wait, Slump Plateau. Go ahead.
That was rude. Alright.
All right, Roland getting taxed. Wasteland on Plateau. No land drop for Roland, just passing turn. Mother Runes is up and running, though. But Pyrite Spellbomb will be a way to kill something without Mother Runes being able to stop it.
Sure.
Dragon's Rage Channeler.
You do have Delirium?
Yeah,
Oh, you
enchantment
enchantment land, instant and artifact. Okay.
Go real quick.
Sure.
Okay, Dragon's Rage Channeler getting equipped with the boots and attacking. It has haste. And Sam has Delirium. So we're on attack for 4.
I'll pass.
It's pretty neat.
If you have ever cast a non-artifact spell, you
All right, Roland found a land. We're making progress. Now what? Yeah, we haven't seen any Archons on today's stream yet. Here is a Johnny. And bringing up the text. Roland's version is in Japanese.
Yeah, sure.
you have an artifact you get. The artifact it doesn't care about.
Makes cats meow.
Yeah.
Nakaro Pariah. I think I said Pride before. Who the hell knows what these cards are called anymore, right, everybody?
Let's see.
It's too many cards now. Folks, if you want to win Eternal Weekend in 2025, you're going to have to memorize every single Legacy card. And its its entire artwork selection. You're going to have to memorize the whole thing. This is mandatory, by the way. No, not the lore counter cards. We're not doing that.
4 cards. Keep it.
Well,
4 cards in Roland's hand. Has a Johnny now. Yeah, Taller Eric says all you get for winning is a silly painting. Yeah. You get a painting, which you'll then sell for cash, and then someone else will put the painting that you won up on their wall.
For their hand.
Giganta to hand. All right, we may say Giganta before Yorion. Caracas bounces a Johnny. This is action packed. Rolling with the wrong cat token.
It's +1/+0, right?
+1/+1.
Monka has arrived in the chat, everybody. Say hello to Monka.
Snowblades.
I know attacks. Okay, so you made?
Marsh Flats gets correct here.
Inhuman.
The good thing about the painting, though, is that some person that can spend 15,000 on it can put it up on their wall. Who didn't win Eternal Weekend, or a person that doesn't need $15,000, whichever.
So chainsaw.
Oh man, chainsaw. Pay the ward.
Okay. And so I guess I get a rev counter.
That's correct. You do get a
Chainsaw gets a rev counter. Dragon's Rage Channeler has been defeated for now. Roland's stabilizing a bit here, maybe. Monka liking the bagels in the chat.
Sega.
We'll probably pre-roll for more.
Pre-war formal wear. Equip it with Dragon's Rage Channeler. Or bring back Dragon's Rage Channeler and equip itself to it. Equip it now with Lava Spur boots and a big attack here.
I'm gonna fetch.
Monka with a big question for everybody. How big of a thing is it in the Legacy community for card bling, foils, alternates, full arts? Do Legacy players pay attention to the bling in their deck? That's the question. Monka opening up a can of worms, I would say. But, yeah, some people really dig the foils. I mean, you look at the two players we're watching right now. Roland's deck is all foils and whatever. And Sam is all non-foil. And both work for me, personally.
Draw.
All right, Roland's scooping it up. Defeated in game one. ECP says Japanese foils are the biggest flex. Okay, forgetting about serialized, I guess. Toll Eric says Sam aggressively chooses the worst arts. Very interesting art analysis from Eric. Monka says I noticed Roland's deck with foils, so made me wonder. Yeah, Roland, very big on the foils. Very, very big.
Sewers.
I'll keep it.
And we go.
All right, Roland on the play. Both players kept 7. Wasteland, either Vile coming in.
Draw.
Yep.
Singo.
Pre-war formal wear, a card that I've really liked in Legacy from this year, first printed this year. Really cool card, and we saw it shine there in game one. Mox Opal, Tundra, Needle on Vial. Okay, very very aggressive. Versus Bobble, that turns on Mox Opal.
Okay.
Shadow Spear.
Pass to
ECP says you can't have a fully serialized deck, but you can have a full Japanese foil deck. Yeah. I don't know. Gamba, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Stoneforge Mystic happening here.
You messed up.
Yeah.
Colliger Complete is found. There's his bobble. Gonna take a look. Taking a look before Colliger Complete is found. Sounds like both players have agreed.
Well, actually, I got mana for it, so I'll just play Thalia.
Chance of getting like something not Politics, you have a 20% chance of getting
Your turn.
I'll never forgive you for that. I don't know if you can forgive yourself.
Neither will the chatters.
There you go.
I'll choose this guy.
Colliger Complete is selected. All right, so it looks like both players agreed that it should have been done before Cauldra was found, but it was done after, and we found Cauldra. So that's how that worked out. Shadow Spear on the board. Nothing to equip itself to. Needle is on Vial.
Sure. Barrel Boy.
Mishra's Bauble sees a Recruiter of the Guard on top of the library. Prismatic Ending on the Stoneforge. Okay, so that prevents Colliger Complete from being a problem next turn. Wasteland on the Plateau. Okay, okay.
What types do you have?
Artifact, land, instant.
Sam doing the taxing.
Land, so he's going to be a...
Roland says, you know what? Screw it. Wasteland your Tundra. Mox Opal still alive. Vial shut off by Needle.
He still functions.
I'll take 16, you go to 18.
I'm gonna get a basic play.
Alright, sounds good. I probably should have kept the hand with basic plans considering the wastelands. It's alright. So now my hand was actually.
Roland mentioning maybe I should have kept a hand with Basic Plains considering your Wastelands, but I think Roland was totally fine to keep a hand with Plateau, Wasteland, Vial. That makes sense to me. Dragon's Rage Channeler, then Soul Guide Lantern, Surveil. Looks like Delirium is on. Maybe not.
Yeah, we'll put Flame Slash in the graveyard.
Flame Slash into the graveyard. What the heck?
I'll target.
Sure.
Plateau's gone.
It's a cast, right? That you...
It's an Ender's Battlefield.
Oh, okay, so it's not going to cast the card that you... Whatever you...
Oh, whatever I hit gets suspended with 3 counters on it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let me know if I go too.
Monka TG just gifted 5 subs. Thank you, Monka. High Train has just started. Thank you, Monka T. 67 now on the channel for Monka. Appreciate it. Monka says Real Bling is a 90s MTG sub. You know what? You're right.
After that, I am.
Cast this Pushing Needle trigger.
I'm going to Petty Theft the Containment Priest.
Getting that.
You pay 1 extra.
3, yep.
Okay.
Drop that one.
I'm gonna like the backside of that
combat?
Johnny Planeswalker.
Yep, it's like a Johnny something else.
Yeah.
No, because now I have this reanimate, so he's a 5.
Let's flip him.
He's a 5/6.
And Cuddle Avenger.
Swinging you for 5?
I'm into it.
I'll go to 11.
Okay, so a Johnny Nakadal Avenger was named by Needle, number 2. And obviously that's not on the board right now, but Sam thinking about what could I lose to. Dragon's Rage Channeler attacks for 1? I thought Delirium was on. I guess not. Another Wasteland. That's not good news for Roland. Passing the turn.
I'll draw a card.
Okay.
Found a fetch. That could potentially find a basic.
Let's see, I'll play a land for turn. This Wasteland, I'll waste your Cavern. I'll fetch twice. I'll cast the Barrel Boy that you know about.
Go to combat.
Sure. Taking 1.
Okay, Dragon's Rage Channeler with a weak attack. No Delirium yet. Salty Mole says Real Bling is the sparkle from Chris's smile. Okay. There you go. Giganta to hand.
I have 4 mana right now.
Yeah, I got no way to get it. You got it.
Use a tap to
The,
oh wow.
Oh, what happened to my hearse?
I
you countered it,
yeah.
Pretty good.
I thought I had a pretty good, what do you call it? Like,
Giganta is a 5/5. Sam has 4 mana currently.
And that hand, honestly, possibly should have had like Frog, Consign, Entomb. So it's like, okay, there's a good amount of.
Okay, passing back to Roland, draws a card.
And so I consider consigning the.
Roland holding a swords. Sounds like Roland has 8 cards in hand.
Discard.
Sounds like we're moving to discard, unfortunately.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah, this.
Discarding Recruiter. Gonna save that Swords to Plowshares, I guess, for Gigantha, which could be a big problem. Quick clock.
artifact mana is like completely reasonable sometimes, and also just like hitting the trigger.
Urza Saga, okay. And then casting Gigantha post-combat.
Yeah. Though at that point you have made lots of diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And step cracking Marsh Flats, getting basic planes, and then gonna Swords Gigantha, I guess, is the move. It's gone. You see, companions aren't that bad. What's everybody complaining about?
Mostly eat it. Just kind of bunch of my counter magic because you have the red blast and the caverns and stuff. And
Yeah.
Vial remains on 3, but it's shut off by a needle. Also shut off by a needle is a Johnny. The reverse side of a Johnny Nikado Pariah. The Avenger. Marsh Flats number 2.
Just true, though.
Who would have thought that this Giganta deck is a prison deck? Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah, Roland getting surprised a bit by what is in Sam's deck, it seems.
This is rough.
Roland says this is rough. All right, so Roland trying to figure this out. The Urza Saga will tick up to 2 on the following turn. It could start making some pretty big constructs. They will be a big problem for Roland for sure.
so Containment Priest you just need to like, because I'm bringing a lot of removal. So Containment Priest is like something I can more easily.
Just going to pass the turn. I believe there's still no Delirium for Dragon's Rage Channeler to have fun with. Urza Saga ticks up to 2.
That's another card that's like among many new cards that like are tough for this deck to beat.
So you have the swords, which will do it, but if you've got like the Pyro Blast, then like this is just like.
Mishra's Bauble.
I guess technically
Surveilling now with Dragon's Rage Channeler.
he's just like
Oh,
too
that's
small.
true. Yeah.
I can like race it.
Yeah. No. If you get the hearse down, he is much worse. So maybe that is a consideration.
Dumps a Cauldron Complete into the graveyard. No respect.
I also had I don't know if you saw someone in our Discord posted that they played this deck at some event in maybe.
All right, Dragon's Rage Channeler will attack it for 1 again. Sam. Make a construct now. Okay, there's a construct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty big. Equipping it with Shadow Spear.
Deck.
Yeah.
It can be that soft.
People do, I think, bring in Poseidon against me because after game 1 they think I'm like a.
Looks like it's a 7/7 lifelinker.
Anyway, you also can like counter Chrome Moxes, counter, stuff like that.
All past priority.
All right, passes the turn back to Roland. The Urza Saga will go to Chapter 3 on the following turn. Probably some other nasty surprise will be found on its search. Roland's got to deal with these constructs, and the 1/1 Dragon's Rage Channeler isn't very threatening right now, but if Sam gets Delirium, it's a quick clock. Leaves the Mishra's Bauble around. Keep the power toughness of the construct as high as we can. There's a Saga now. Gonna choose to make a construct. That'll grow the other construct, of course. And then a search, and this construct's gonna be really big. The woman equipped with Shadow Spear will have lifelink and trample. It's not looking good for Roland right now. Lava Spur Boots. I guess we should have seen that one coming. We saw that earlier. Equip itself to the new construct. Give it haste. This is going to be a pretty nasty attack. Potentially for lethal. Roland extends the hand. That is the match. Sam gets it. Well played. Well played. Wow. I really like Sam's deck. Really cool. Some people are clapping. Let's set up another poll for the Twitch chat. Which match next? Your options will be Jeskai versus Reanimator, or Esper Control versus Storm, or Spellseeker versus Red Stompy. Saw the Spellseeker deck earlier. Or Miracles versus Esper Control, or Miracles versus Painter. 2 minutes. Get your vote in. Get your vote in. Our Discord is up on your screen. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord. Join us on Patreon. Links to the Patreon are all over the place. Go check it out. Toleric hoping for some Nick Fit. Pew Pew saying you should be the change you want to see. Play Nick Fit Doomsday. Veteran Explorer, a card that some people are very dedicated to for sure. Storm says that people want more frogs. About a minute left on this poll. What do I want? I'm going to vote on this one. I don't usually vote. All right, I voted. I get one vote. Running out of time. Close vote. Less than 30 seconds. What do the people of the chat want? We're about to find out. Very exciting. Almost out of time. Close. People are spending some extra points on this one. Audrey contributed 2,000 channel points. Esper versus Storm is up next. Let's do it. Audrey says I failed. All right, this should be fun. Diving in.
And also, I feel like whenever I play versus you here on this table on camera, I always lose.
Esper on the left, that would be David.
You're saying that David just has your number?
Storm on the right.
Calls you up to say, hey, babe.
That would be Marat.
We'll see.
I have no idea what you're playing.
All right, player shuffling up here, getting ready. The Storm decks are pretty hot in Legacy these days. These Esper decks with Tameo, Kaido, Bane of Nightmares, and some other stuff are hot these days. This should be fun. I'm curious how this plays out.
Life counters for Chimera.
Thank you, Barat, getting us some life totals.
Breakthrough, full priority. Crack for 3 red.
So much fun.
That on the stack. Yes, it's on the stack. Oh, you mother. So much fun.
All right, sounds like people are having fun in the background. Not sure what's up with that. We usually have a atmosphere like a library at the Legacy events we have. It's very quiet, and when people make noise, they get shushed.
Yep, keep going.
Best friends always know each other.
Usually. Lotus Petal. Lion's Eye Diamond.
Storm is 2.
Also, it wouldn't have stopped the LED.
Yeah, there's people laughing in the background. They're probably like, this is a game store, so there are people like playing Candyland or whatever in the background, and they're probably laughing. So it's not the Legacy players laughing. That would be ridiculous. Simian Spirit Guide. 2 Storm. Vexing Bauble. A lot of people thinking about Vexing Bauble these days. Storm is 3.
Teaching me a lot of things.
You're learning treasure tokens. You're learning a lot.
Force pitching Tameo, trying to stop Vexing Bauble. Storm is 4. Vexing Bauble is countered successfully. Lion's Eye Diamond sacked, discarding the hand. Making some mana here. Echo of Eons is discarded. Burning Wish, Gamble also discarded. And Echo of Eons going to get flashback.
Pay blue here, and then 2 red here. Storm is 5.
Hog, and then make you start over with like no hand.
Player's going to Time Twister here. Echo of Eons exiles itself on flashback. Storm is 5. 1 red floating, it looks like. I think the red die means red mana. Obviously, Echo of Eons cost blue. Let's see what Murat finds. And without Vexing Bauble around, we'll also be thinking about what David could have found. Could he find another Force of Will? Could he find the same Force of Will again? It was shuffled back into the library. That would be very interesting.
Impulse. Ancient Tomb for turn.
Okay, first land drop, Ancient Tomb. 1 red mana floating, it looks like. Chromox, 6 Storm. Imprinting, Shatter Skull. Shatter Skull smashing, it would be the reverse side, obviously. Rite of Flame. The having the modal double face card upside down in the sleeve, I believe, is a violation. We'll put that in the ticket we submit for this match. Lion's Eye Diamond, 8 Storm. Jessica's Will getting cast.
Storm is 9.
Yep. Not entirely there.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes this one.
Cast a Lotus Petal. Storm is 10.
Reforge the Soul is another card we're looking at right now.
1 red.
There's 2 of these, but I'm taking one.
1, 2, 3, 6.
Jessica's Will found Reforge the Soul and Vexing Bauble. Storm is 10. Murat has 1 red floating right now. Gonna use it to cast a Vexing Bauble.
I'm gonna sacrifice for 3 red, red to cast the Reforge. Storm is 11.
Okay, Storm is 11. Marat's hand should have been discarded here. It's just a volcanic island in hand. Lion's Eye Diamond was sacked.
Oh, I am. No, right now. I'm watching. I see the line.
Sorry, this is on the stack.
Why doesn't move make sense? Why doesn't it do everything? Quite sucks.
Okay, so hands are discarded. Didn't get to see what was in David's hand besides a Pluto Delta, but David's going to draw another 7. And so will Marat, who has a Vexing Bauble now on the board. And no mana floating, 11 Storm.
Pass turn.
I have one blocker. You do? Yeah, one of these is under
If I see your
All right, Marat just passes the turn. So, kind of whiffed, I guess. The hand had just removal and a Snapcaster in it. Mystic Sanctuary pass.
turn.
Yeah, I picked up 2 tundras at EW.
Oh no. Nice.
Ancient Tomb. It's a land drop for turn.
Take 2. 16.
Marat maybe going to try and start this over again. That is a Seething Song.
I'll cast a defense grid. Go to 3 red. Storms 2.
Excuse me, that fight's not called in.
I'll take 2 more.
It's not called in.
Make 2 colorless.
That's how much you
I'm
have.
going to use 1 to crack the Vexing Bauble.
That's called
card.
Stinkweed Imp, sir.
Now there's 2 more.
Rigamos.
Lotus Petal 3. LED 4.
Wait, what's this? Nothing. It's gone. This was the tap on tap. Now I sure 2 insects.
They look like something
Cast
close to
Gamble.
this to me.
Use a red here.
Right.
Okay, here's Gamble. Search the library for a card, then discard a card at random. 5 storms. 5 storm. I should just start saying 5 storms from now on. Card is found, and then Marat will be discarding 1 at random. Defense grid on the board. Echo of Eons might have been what Marat looked for.
1 for reroll.
1. Discard Mountain.
Damn, I feel like that's not what you gambled for.
I will.
You just re-slam your bog to do your trip. You got it.
Saw the line.
2, 3, 6, 7.
You know, you've seen Josh with 3 blue.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Okay, 3 blue, and Echo of Eons is discarded. That was most likely the card that Marat tutored for with Gamble. And now an Echo of Eons will resolve. So 6 storm. Graveyards get shuffled in. We're going to draw 7 again on both sides. Lots of action.
Magic and Land's the only time I'm willing to subject myself to Yorian dice.
Yeah, so you're never going to let me counter. It's always a copy.
Looks like Marat has 3 red, 1 colorless floating. 6 storm.
Yep.
Pedal.
Yep.
Pedal. 8.
8 storm after 2 lotus petals. Simian Spirit Guide getting exiled here. 4 red, 1 colorless floating. Burning Wish. Using 2 red.
Tendrils.
Yep, you get.
Yeah.
Tendrils of Agony. That ends it. Has the lotus petals to make black. Game 1 goes to Storm. Managed to find it. Moving on to game 2.
Force in my opening hand.
Oh,
If I
that's
was,
why you said it's a bad time to lose the die roll.
yeah. That game looks. I mean, that's the way Magic works. But I was like, that looks so different. How you get to start off with Thoughtseize.
Oh yeah.
Maple says, new to Legacy, building my first deck. First time joining the stream as a YouTube watcher. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. Awesome to hear you're building your first Legacy deck. Where in the world are you? What deck are you building? And what's your win rate? Welcome, welcome. Goblin Lackey, thank you for the raid. Welcome, everybody. Some goblins just barged in to our stream. And we got some goblin tokens in the bottom right. How perfect. Going into game 2 of Storm versus Esper. We didn't see David get to do much in game 1. Fired off a Force of Will and then lost the game, basically. But we'll be on the play here for game 2, and thought seizes and stuff like that could make a difference, being on the play. Maple says, I'm near Philly, building Jeskai as a longtime Modern Control player. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, you have to win to have a win rate. That's true. That's true.
Yes. But I'm gonna
Good luck.
All right, one card on the bottom for Marat. Flooded Strand, Thoughtseize. All right, a good start to game 2 here for David. So the hand will be revealed. One Mountain, Echo of Eon, Seething Song, Simian Spirit Guide, Reforge the Soul, and Lion's Eye Diamond. Lion's Eye Diamond might be the choice here, but it depends on what's in David's hand. You could see something like take Echo of Eons and then Surgical It or something like that, for example. All right, so Lion's Eye Diamond is selected. I'm going to pass back to Marat, who will be most likely not doing much on turn 1, it looks like.
And for turn.
All right, passing back to David. Thoughtseize very effective. Psychic Frog. Oh boy, it's the frog, everybody. Wow. Is this game over? Shatter Skull comes in, untapped. Pay 3 life. What's the plan? Exile Simian Spirit Guide. Casting Seething Song. The plan might be to try to reforge the soul.
I know I'm not doing it as well.
That's something that you discard to.
Yeah, discard and exile top 2.
Okay, what is actually happening here is Hornfell, Horn of Bounty, gets forced pitching Snapcaster. It's the reverse side of Bergi, God of Storytelling from Kaldheim. Second Frog will get a chance to attack. David will draw a card. Very good Force of Will there. Hornfell is a nasty one. Tameo, Inquisitive Student now on the board. Marat just passes the turn. 3 cards in hand. Reforge the Soul, Echo of Eons, and an unknown card. David fetching here. Most likely going to Surveil. Tequilas Archive. David talking about white bordering the Surveil lands. That might be, you know, if they release white border Surveil lands, that might be a buy. That might be a buy.
Slightly easier to.
B-U-Y, that is. So Psychic Frog and Tamia will enter the red zone, attacking, making a clue, nothing getting discarded, it looks like. Nope. Discarding 1 card.
14.
Drawing off the frog. Will we flip Tamio? We're on the edges of our seats. Clue gets cracked. It's happening. Tamio's flipping. Modern Horizons, everybody.
Drop a turn.
Do it all over.
Pass.
Get that. 3 mana.
How many cards in?
Marat with not much going on right now, just passes the turn. Tamio and Psychic Frog still around.
Attack, no effects.
Take 2.
This Frog not currently a fast clock, but it's drawing David some cards which could build up some impenetrable defenses. Could see another Thoughtseize potentially. All right, that's a Ponder though. Looking for more disruption for sure.
It's really hard to go back. So you just go for the best.
Is it?
I don't know if there's a card that David could drop on the table that could like cause a scoop necessarily, other than like maybe Narset or something. But I don't think this deck has Narset. Rite of Flame?
Like I guess I have like 9 side diamonds. So it gets to this card.
I also need a way to get
1, 2, 3. Exile top 2.
Oh, I guess yeah. I should have took.
Jessica's Will trying to exile the top 3. Hydroblast.
Flexibility here. I think you got pigeonholed to like you need to kill me
Yeah.
instead of you need to cripple me and then you can play
Swing, no effects.
10.
Tamio with 6 loyalty currently. Tamio close to ultimate. Could ultimate next turn, I believe. And that, all right, Null Rod's pretty nasty. Drawing half the deck could be a scoop.
I think you're right though.
Yeah, you considering that I don't have really anything going for me here. So like you have time. I'm gonna see what I can do here, but
Do I just take turn that next turn? You got that.
Looks like David's maybe contemplating bringing back Hydroblast or Thoughtseize. Okay, so gonna just tick up to 8. And Marat will scoop with the Tamio waiting. Moving to game 3.
Minus.
Why didn't I?
Yeah, like what's your hand stacked? I'm assuming.
I had 3 answers.
Okay. I figured as much. I was just curious. So next time you could ultimate Tamio, right?
Yeah, it was just ending the game next time.
Yeah, so players discussing here. There was a decision there between minusing Tamio to bring back a disruption spell from the graveyard or just plussing it to potentially end the game on the following turn by ultimating Tamio. That's what David chose to do and took the game.
That deck is good. And it's just people don't.
So now Marat will be on the play. Play draw, as we saw in both games 1 and 2, pretty important in this matchup.
it was before it affected the game.
Yeah. Die on the board tells us that David has kept 7 and Marat has mulliganed to 6 so far. All right, a mull to 6 from Marat. David kept 7, ready to go. Mountain Pass. Flooded Strand for David.
Your turn.
Is there a line if you think I have something? Is there like a protected?
Okay, City of Traders.
So there's two ways. I can either, although I sided it out, I should probably put it back in. I can either kill you with combat, so I can I have anger, and so I'll have hasty zombies that I'll just like.
Seething Song. Trying to make 5 mana. Cracking Flooded Strand in response.
And make a gigantic dude and then swing with an angry creature. So like those are kind of like the lines.
I know. I guess I meant more so. Okay.
Yeah, look,
I so I meant on this turn right here.
Okay, Hydroblast on Seething Song. It's countered.
Yeah. But because
Stop right in their tracks that time. By Hydroblast. Not a super explosive start to this game for Marat.
No. Like I figured like the
4 cards left in hand. David just passing the turn.
Therefore, the crop rock one or the diamond viable, you don't have turbo ways to turn on dark depth, so you wouldn't have a surprise blocker. If you have Fairy Macabre, then good on you. Like, great, fine. Congratulations.
Gamble?
So it's between like Jukabog.
Gamble on the stack. Could be a card worth countering. Another Hydroblast. Okay, it's countered. Hydroblast putting in some work here. Game 3. Meticulous Archive, Surveil.
I do regret not having that. So I think I might want to do that.
Sure.
No, I don't.
Whoa, major violation there. All right. So Baleful Strix was dumped into the graveyard. Then David draws for turn.
Oh, I wish.
Marat thinks violations are funny.
Okay, let's see.
Mort says his Surveil on the watch list feels a little too good to me. Yeah, Surveil is on the watch list. Cumulative Upkeep on the watch list. The Inspired mechanic is on the watch list. Or maybe I'm thinking of the Storm Scale. Does anybody know? I don't know what's going on.
She's on the plate.
Yeah.
Pregame?
Do they still even use the Storm Scale?
For that.
All of them is the pretty sexy body. Thanks. Somebody left it here. I don't know.
I'm more concerned with play patterns personally.
Ignoble. Oh, 0. You're right. I don't know why.
Oh, it's the Companion Scale now? Yeah. Oh, well.
Dark blasts.
Yes, you got it. You got it. Kill Bowmaster.
Just a Mountain and a Sea of Traders on Marat's side has had 2 spells hydroblasted so far in this game. How much ammo does David have left? Marat maybe thinking about trying to break through again. Thinking about this turn. Baleful Strix was dumped with Surveil. Not super useful against Storm. Not exactly going to be blocking. We've seen Vexing. All right, here's Chromox. We've seen Vexing Bauble come down. It's been a key card in these current Storm decks, Vexing Bauble. Defense Grid is the other way of setting up a turn with a lot of defense.
That's a tough decision in this imprint, huh?
Storm is 1, thinking about imprinting on this Chromox. Is that a retro frame Chromox? Is that bling? It doesn't have the OG art. So I don't know how it rates on the bling scale. Legacy players like to talk about retro frames. They like to talk about OG art. They're very predictable, actually. Legacy players. I can tell you what they're going to think about anything. Imprinting Burning Wish, imprinting Burning Wish. Gamble, getting cast now, and it's going to resolve. It looks like. Marat searching the deck. We have these polls that we post up on our YouTube channel in the community tab. And I'll post these polls that are like, which new Lightning Bolt or Swords to Plowshares is your favorite? And it'll be like a couple of versions that came out this year from Fallout, from a Secret Lair, from whatever. You know, a special version raising money for children, whatever, like all this fun stuff they drop. And inevitably, people will comment, "What about beta?" That's not what I asked you. Can you read the question? Bowmaster comes in.
Yep.
Also, nobody ever mentions alpha, which I find interesting. It's always like beta. Not alpha. Not alpha. Very interesting. Uh-oh. Kaido. Bane of Nightmares. Ninjutsu.
So 15.
Alright. I'll use a 0.
Goblin Lackey says Alpha has the weird corners. Yeah, that's a big concern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. He's happy. Look at that.
And then I will go
Do or die.
Underground Sea.
Thoughtseize. Hand is revealed, and we're most likely taking Burning Wish. Marat knows it. Echo of Eons will be stuck in hand, most likely. Marat running out of resources now. Bullmaster on the board makes these wheels and time twisters a little bit worse. A lot worse, if we're being honest. Marat at 15. Kaido, Bane of Nightmares. I really like this card. From Duskmorn. Duskmorn, Legacy players have no idea what's going on. Duskmorn came out very recently. It's a big time set. Lots of people are excited about it. And it's getting really great reviews, they're saying.
That's rough, buddy.
What's everybody's favorite sets of 2024? We had Assassin's Creed and Modern Horizons 3, Boomburrow, Duskmorn, Karlov Manor, Outlaws Thunder Junction, Tamio, Ponder now. What was everybody's favorite set of 2024?
And the dark set.
Tamio comes in, flips itself over. Pluses. Prismatic ending on Chromox. Ouch.
I had a dead card in my hand. Play this later.
Foundations was another one that came out this year. Goblin Lackey saying the pre-release was quite fun. I heard great things about Foundations as far as limited play.
It's so risky to all in.
Maple is a fan of Flip Tamio. I think MH3 brought a lot of really cool cards to Magic. There's some really cool ones in there. And I like the cards from the Commander edition too, the MH3 Commander edition. Baraglyph, Planar Nexus, Talon Gates of Madara, Pyroglyph. There's another one. I always feel like there's another one I forget. But
So like I'm playing in a way where I can make sure that
Pew Pew going for Karlov Manor. The Surveillance. Yeah, the Surveillance were great for Legacy, I think. I joke a lot about the Surveillance, but I really like the Surveillance. I think they're great.
I mean, having a Black Lotus on the field is still having a Black Lotus on the field. I can use it whenever I want.
It's Kama says MH3 for Nadu, and then was banned by the chat. Banned from the chat. Tamio minusing. Thoughtseize found. Firing it off.
Response.
I don't have to throw all the
Attempt
gas
to raid
behind
here.
the
One color's
graveyard and
floating.
just like
A braid, one colorless floating. Going after the Bowmaster. Bowmaster down. Thoughtseize will then resolve, it looks like. 2 Echo of Eons. Okay. Okay. Got the Bowmaster removed. Can Marat top deck Lion's Eye Diamond?
so by forcing him to kind of like play into that, then I have a better chance of winning.
Lion's Eye Diamond off the top could be good news. It looks like it wasn't because Marat has not immediately played it.
It gives them ninjas +1/+1. It's like an emblem for ninjas.
Okay. Counts itself too, obviously, so.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wouldn't put him on non-turbo, right? Like, the cards he's playing,
Marat trying to figure out, am I dead?
unless I, like, circle him in, like,
This is a 3/4.
Yeah, you got it, man. GG's.
That's a fist bump. That is the match. Right of Flame was the draw. Esper gets it. GG's. Well played. Good match. Esper, everybody. Esper. Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. Gonna set up another poll for the Twitch chat now. Keep things moving along. Which match next? Twitch chat will vote. Their options will be Jeskai versus Reanimator, Miracles versus Painter, Miracles versus Esper Control, let's see what else we got. Spellseeker versus Initiative. Spellseeker versus Red Stompy. 2 minutes to vote. Get your vote in. Get your vote in. Our Discord is up on your screen. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord. We also have a Patreon. If it's important to you that covering tabletop legacy events is important, and channels like this one should grow and cover more and more events, and you want to find a way to help, join us on Patreon. We have links to our Patreon all over the place. Become a member, put your name down, and say, I want more Tabletop Legacy to watch. Appreciate everybody that's been joining. All right, votes are coming in on this poll. About a minute left for voting. I'm going to vote on this one. What do I want? All right, I voted. We have a probably big, dramatic, ban and restricted update coming on Monday. If you're watching this on YouTube, it may have already happened. But does anybody in the chat right now, anybody in the comments right now, have a bold prediction? Looking for bold predictions. What will happen? Does anybody know? Does anybody care what's happening? Salty Moles contributed 800. We're headed over to Spellseeker versus Red Stompy. This should be fun. Learning to Micro says Consensus says Vexing and Frog. Acolyth says Psychic Frog remains legal. Bold prediction. Let's set this up. Diving in.
He's right. You might go 3 now.
I might, exactly. Thank you.
Best of luck.
Okay, joining us on the left is Anthony on Mono Red Stompy, and on the right we have Matthew with Bant Spellseeker, Urion revealed as a companion. We saw this deck earlier on today's stream. Urion, Ephemerate, Spellseeker. That's basically what's going on. Psychic Frog playmat, very interesting.
I'll imprint this.
Both players kept 7. Ancient Tomb, Krolmox, imprinting Was that Shadow Skull? Can't tell. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Gonna make a Goblin Shaman.
Get some shit. I'm at
Yeah, it looks like Shadow Skull Smashing was imprinted on Chromox, so I was right on that. Good start to the game for Anthony. Flooded Shrine getting cracked for Matthew now. Anthony has the correct... Wait, why'd the Flooded Shrine go back in the deck? What just happened? Okay. Very interesting. Here's Noble Hierarch.
Alright, so this is after they draw a step, right?
Yeah. You draw the main phase is the first thing.
I'll discard these two. I'll draw two.
Okay, discarding a mountain and a city of traders to Fable, second chapter.
Easy 12.
Yeah, a little bit of a goof putting Flooded Shrine back into the deck. That obviously would not be what happens, but maybe Green Sun Zenithing a bit today has Matthew making some errors. Magus of the Moon coming in.
I will. This is empty, by the way.
Noble Hierarch will help with that situation a bit. Goblin Shaman will attack, make a treasure.
I'm gonna before attack.
It's not Jason minus 1.
No, it's good. Attack's good. Sorry.
So I don't really have any treasures, so I got some Pokemon cards at random.
Perfect. Take 2.
Okay, so no treasures, just a Pokemon card. Very interesting. Vexing Bauble comes in. Solitude. Pitching Orum's Chant. Most likely going off to the Magus.
Okay, 2. Undead Pro.
How was the Vexing Bauble paid for? Guess I missed that. Oh well. Brainstorm. Oh, I guess the Ancient Tomb tapped for the red, that right? Yeah.
These 2 back. Green Sun's X equals 0.
Green Sun X is 0, which is probably the reason we saw the Flood Shrine accidentally shuffled into the deck earlier. This is a Green Sun Zenith deck. The Green Sun most likely find Dryad Arbor. The Ancient Tomb was a mountain when it was last tapped. There was a Solitude fired off, which gained Anthony back some life from the first time it was tapped.
Sideboarding error.
Was it something good? At least it's not.
Okay, Dryad Arbor is found. White Border Dryad Arbor. A good call.
One from the mystery boosters, so I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I'll move it my deck to be white border now.
That's how it comes, though.
Yeah.
They might be one of these lunatics who somehow whited all that out perfectly.
No.
It's fine.
And then I will pass 2.
Okay, passing the turn after making a Dryad Arbor. So, Fable is going to go into its last chapter, become Reflections of Kiki Jiki. I believe the Pokemon card is still on the battlefield. It is a treasure.
So I will still attack, though.
Attacking with the Goblin Shaman.
I'll take 2. You'll make another treasure.
Just fix another treasure, so I have 2 treasures. But I'll just take one off and try to cast a One Ring.
The One Ring. I think this time Anthony took 2 damage and it wasn't counted. Unsure. Oh, maybe they're gonna tap the mana differently. Maybe they forgot the moon was gone. Okay. So now it's been paid for correctly.
Sweet. All right. So I'll add a burden counter and draw. And you are
on end stuff. I'm gonna swords your reflection PPGP.
Okay, Swords to Plowshares will remove reflections of Kiki-Jiki. We'll have to take it all the way out of the sleeve, put it all the way back in, and it is gone. It should be exiled. Anyway. Back to Matthew now. Playing a Witch Enchanter as a land, paying 3 life.
Tap 3 to cast Spellseeker.
Yeah, it was back and forth.
Okay, now Spellseeker is resolving. Matthew's going to search the deck for something. What will it be this time?
Okay, it's this. Just want to double check something.
So you want to play that and you want to win?
Okay. Green Sun Zenith.
Okay, Green Sun Zenith is a good choice. Dryad Arbor moved into the correct part of the battlefield. 1 ring will deal a damage. The cat on Matthew's sleeves is named Hobbs, apparently. Maybe a Calvin and Hobbes reference, I don't know. Gonna draw 2 cards off the 1 ring now. Second burden counter.
How many cards? 4. No, wait. Take 2. And so I have 5, 6 floating.
Yep.
I'll play just hard cast. 1 floating. I'll just hard cast a Fury.
Yep.
2 each. Or
2 each?
1. No, sorry. That's a creature, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I'll draw them.
Okay, so a Fury getting hard cast, eliminate the entire team on Matthew's side. Tanking with a Goblin Shaman, making a treasure again.
You're up.
Set.
This is still a 1 ring active. We know about the Green Sun Zenith, right? That's still in hand. Urion still is available as a companion, but Fury's going to hit pretty hard. Matthew's down to 9. Could be running out of time here. Green Sun Zenith X is 3. What will it be?
2.
Okay, X is 2. It turns out. Green Sun X is 2. Okay, just collect a roof. Shuts off Vexing Bauble and the 1 ring and Chromox. And the treasure. Not too bad. Fury and Goblin Shaman are a problem, though. 1 thing at a time. 2 burden counters means 2 damage to Anthony.
You can't tap.
Oh. That's not good.
Yep, Chromox is shut off. No access to red mana right now. Can't use the treasure either.
All artifacts.
Oh, so you might actually have me here. This would be bad.
Anthony realizing he's in trouble.
Okay. So attack you with his.
Okay, I'll go to 1. You make another treasure, but
So another treasure.
Okay, second treasure. Matthew drops to 1. Fury and the Goblin Shaman basically both need to be dealt with. Another Vexing Bauble.
I'm an idiot. Oh, here you go. You got me. Okay.
All right, the game still goes to Anthony. Couldn't figure out how to beat Fury and the Goblin Shaman. Moving on to game 2. That Fury was pretty mean.
Pretty strong.
Fury's a good card. The disparity between the ban lists in Modern and Legacy continues to get interesting, I guess. Modern with Ragavan and Renin 6 and Expressive Iteration running around. No Fury, though. It's just kind of funny.
He hardcast Force of Will, I cracked the clue and
Try it.
and it was on top.
Because it did the brainstorm before.
Pass it.
All right, both players kept 7. Floodstrand pass.
No, I have another brainstorm. I might as well 880.
Anthony started game 1 with a 3-drop, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. So, paying 3 life to have, what's it called? It's the thing that destroys a land and creatures can't block, I believe. Vexing Bauble. Floodstrand getting cracked here.
This bigger now. Yeah, 2. 5, 6, 7. I'm at 3.
Nice looking card.
Thank you, Toleric. It was Sundering Eruption.
I'm gonna put it in the yard. Orm's Chant. Put it in the yard.
Okay, Surveil Orm's Chant into the graveyard with Hedge Maze.
I'm gonna fetch, getting a basic plains, and then green suns for 1.
Okay, Green Sun X is 1.
You have 1 card?
Noble Hierarch is found.
I'll pass it.
What is that? 3. So 6.
Basic Mountain. So Matthew will have at least 3 mana on the following turn. Sounds like Anthony has just passed. Just a Vexing Bauble. Not a super explosive start.
Eternal Witness.
Eternal Witness. Okay.
I'm gonna return Flooded Strand in my hand. Put the Flooded Strand. And pass it.
Let's do another. Let's do one more.
Eternal Witness. Some of you may be wondering why. Maybe you're about to find out. We'll see.
I'll crack this in this turn.
Vexing Bauble sacked. Draw a card. Trying to get things up and running.
Go? Actually, yeah.
These decks just lose themselves.
Roll.
Like the raw power is still the
I'm gonna play this.
Okay, Chromox.
It's so strong in these things.
I'll exile the Magus of the Moon. And I'll try to. How many cards?
So Magus of the Moon imprinted on Chromox. Shadow Skull smashing, targeting both creatures. Fledgestrand getting cracked.
Tundra. With that on this. Yeah, one second. Try to ephemerate Eternal Witness in response. Eternal Witness will come back in. I will get back. Let's do Worm's Chant. Sure. Then the Noble Hierarch will die.
Yeah.
So Ephemerate, blink the Eternal Witness, return Orum's Chant to hand. Noble Hierarch dies. Shadow Skull smashing killed the Noble Hierarch. Now Ephemerate targeting Eternal Witness. Return Ephemerate.
And then I'll go in the yard after. So rebound turn.
Okay, sure.
So I'm gonna target Ephemerate, put it back in my hand. Then draw for turn.
Okay, so Eternal Witness brings the Ephemerate back to hand, if anybody missed that. Now we're going to Ephemerate again. Goes on rebound. Return a land. Windswept Heath.
Because then you just attack me back and I die.
I'll pass to you on your upkeep. I'm gonna Orum's Chant you. You can't cast it.
Okay, Orum's Chant on upkeep. Can't cast any spells. Ancient Tomb pass. Cracking Windswept Heath.
At sorcery speed, only at instant speed.
Why?
So.
Okay, we're going to game 3. Anthony convinced he will no longer be able to cast another spell. Ephemerate and Orum's Chant and Eternal Witness loop. Moving on to game 3.
One of each type. At least.
Yes.
All right, Anthony will be on the play here for game 3. Urian revealed as a companion. Getting ready to go.
18.
Chromox. Vexing Bauble.
So I can exile more.
I think I said Chromox. I meant Ancient Tomb. Ancient Tomb, Vexing Bauble. Force of Negation. Pitching. Force of Will.
Pitching a Vexing Bauble.
And then another Vexing Bauble. So there is a Vexing Bauble on the board. Passing the turn. The other one is exiled.
Misty Rainforest.
One time deal it. Fuck you.
Okay. A little early to be tapping the top of the deck, I think. But I guess Anthony kept a risky hand. Sacking Vexing Bauble.
Because I'm casting.
Just passing the turn. Ouch. Not a great hand. Misty Rainforest cracked. Or the hand is not working out, I should say. At least not so far. This is game 3. It does take Matthew a little while to get things up and running. But the Stompy deck, you kind of want to be making big plays early. Mountain, okay, we're making progress. Maybe we'll find out why this hand was a keep. Fable and the Mirror Breaker, okay. Okay. It's going to resolve, it sounds like. We're going to make a Goblin. Lots of Pokemon cards floating around.
Here we go. After that.
End step, I'm going to flash and tell you.
Bro, I didn't know.
Okay.
I know you as a bitch. Very good game.
Felia Exuberant Shepherd got flashed in. Another way to blink things. It's going to get rid of this Goblin Shaman. Yep.
Yep.
Two.
Token into the graveyard. That's a violation. Misty Rainforest getting cracked, it looks like.
Fetch.
How big are we?
Island, and I'm gonna cast a Spellseeker.
Okay, here's Spellseeker. And it will look for.
Ephemerate. Sure. And I will pass you.
Okay, so Ephemerate is found. It's in hand. Fable of the Mirror Breaker ticks up to 2.
I will discard these two. These two.
Discarding Magus and Ancient Tomb. Magus of the Moon, not very good at the moment. 3 basics of 3 different colors on Matthew's side. Bant unlocked, no matter what.
There are people who are saying they would have constant
Yeah.
I would try to Fury, pitching a Fury.
Yep. Assuming you're getting both.
Okay, that's a pretty good Fury. Fury pitching Fury, remove Felia, remove the Spellseeker. That's not too bad. Getting it done before Ephemerate can get up and running. Maybe a reason why this hand was kept was the double Furies. Dropping to 12 now thanks to Ancient Tomb, playing another Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Not the worst. Make another Goblin Shaman. Taking it out of the graveyard. Reanimating a Goblin Shaman token. Passing the turn.
Sorry. Oh. Sure. Play lands.
Yeah.
Okay, Plater Shadow Skull is a land. Not a big deal. So Fables on 1 and 2. One of them will turn into Reflections of Kiki next turn, but no creatures currently on Matthew's side. Plays a Caracas. Tapping out. Green Sun X3.
I'm gonna keep it.
Green Sun X3 finds the Eternal Witness. We know about an Ephemerate in hand, but Matthew will be tapped out.
It's Spellseeker back. And then I'll pass you.
Spellseeker returned to hand by Eternal Witness. Anthony will get to untap. There's a chance that a Ghost Vacuum or something like that could be disruptive here. Moon effects, not super important right now. Another Fury could potentially make a difference at some point. There's got to be some combination of graveyard hate and creature removal and start attacking. I mean, this mono red Stompy deck hasn't like dropped a Pyro Goyf and Broadside Bombardiers, sack it, deal 6 damage to that kind of those kind of plays we just haven't seen yet. And really, this Red Stompy deck wants to be ending the game quickly. We don't want to be on turn 15 of the game with Mono Red Stompy necessarily. Mono Red Stompy trying to play fast. Here's Broadside Bombardiers, though. Okay. Maybe I spoke too soon. Attacking for 4. Make a treasure. Can take 4. Sack the treasure, kill Eternal Witness. Not the worst. It's a start. You could see Spellseeker and Ephemerate here, though. Reflections of Kiki Jiki no longer being summoning sick on the following turn, being joined by another Reflections of Kiki Jiki on the following turn. Broadside Bombardiers on the battlefield. Anthony has a legitimate clock now. We'll see what Matthew does about it. Spellseeker will search.
Orange chant.
It's going to be Orum's Chant. Orum's Chant cost a white, double white to cast it with Kicker. Just with a white, you can still be attacked. Swords to Broadside Bombardiers. Okay, that was a pretty important Swords to Plowshares, I think. Passing the turn. Still, though, Reflections of Kiki Jiki no longer being summoning sick is a scary thing. No mana open to use Ephemerate. Wait, what's happening here?
That seems very, very strange.
Yeah,
I just had to draw a card. I didn't draw a card.
Okay, Anthony with a little goof thought Reflections of Kiki Jiki was legendary just for a moment. That would have made Caracas pretty important, but it is not legendary. It's just an enchantment creature called Reflections of Kiki Jiki. One of them summoning sick, one of them is not. Goblin Shaman token needs like a way to kill this Spellseeker and then really start doing some major damage to Matthew's life total. Powerglyph and then copy it with Reflections of Kiki Jiki. We could start to see Anthony take over this game. All right, here's Fury. It's going to kill the Spellseeker.
And I go to 9.
Pay a land, pay 3 life, go to 9. Copy Fury. Attack for 8 total. Drop Matthew to 6.
Exactly. Because if I get a land and it goes to the graveyard, you can't do it. And then I have prior.
Make a treasure. The Pokemon card is a treasure. Matthew's at 6. There's going to be 2 copies of Reflections of Kiki Jiki if Anthony gets to untap past the turn, but we have the Orum's Chant with Kicker. Just a time walk right now. No double green to be able to cast Eternal Witnesses at the moment. Okay, passing the turn.
6.
No Orum's Chant on upkeep. Just going to attack. Leaving up a Reflections of Kiki Jiki on defense.
4 blockers. I guess I get a token. I'm going to cast Solitude, exiling Wrath of the Skies.
Okay, Solitude pitching Wrath of the Skies. Removing Fury.
Injury.
Yeah, there was a missed opportunity to create copies of Fury on end step. Audrey, absolutely right. Ephemerate now on Solitude.
I'll target your Reflections of Kiki token. Gain 2.
Solitude will then be available to block. Ooh, this might have worked out really well for Matthew now.
Instant sorcery on
Ephemerate, Solitude. Target your Reflections of Kiki Jiki.
My turn?
Okay, didn't block. Just going to remove it with Ephemerate. Matthew at 2 life, which is still kind of low, if we're being honest. And the possibility of Solitude attacking here could put Matthew back up to 4 after the fetch.
I got a Savannah. Put Yuri on the hand.
Go.
Yuri onto hand. Okay.
Nothing went to the graveyard.
When I cast Wrath of Skies for 0.
Wrath of the Skies X is 0. That'll kill the Goblin Shaman. Anthony now with no creatures, but Matthew's at 1 life. Passing the turn. Broadside Bombardiers wins the game. Alright, just playing Simian Spirit Guide. It's not very good.
Swing myself. Trade. Go to 4.
Okay, so Solitude trades with the Simian Spirit Guide. Here's Yurion. It's all on its own. Caracas is tapped for now. Anthony has nothing. It's not good. Attacking for 4.
Oh, the reanimate? Yeah. It's a 3. No. I drew.
Okay, the 1 ring is not too bad.
I saw, because I did the ponder.
You gonna pop? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Pop. Draw your card.
Cast Collector Roof.
Collector Roof is a good one. It's good against the 1 ring. 1 ring will ping Anthony on upkeep.
It's too good.
Yo, this fucking guy, man.
Play this.
Yes. I agree with your friend. Your friend is
Just hard cast Fury.
Yep.
Okay, hardcasting Fury, kill Collector Roof. Draw off the 1 ring now.
1, 2.
The Elo bot, thank you for the resub with Prime 9 months. Appreciate that.
Wave check here real quick.
Sure. Creature, sorcery, land, instant.
If you need several artifacts.
Yeah, so that's 5, 6.
There's a Goif check happening. Uh-oh.
Yo, this motherfucker.
Yep, let's go.
Oh.
Pyrogoyf the Yurion, not... Oh, man.
That's the cool one.
Yeah, because it's cool.
Cool thing with this guy is
Go.
Pass to you.
Go.
It's 5.
Just passing the turn, Pyrogoyf and Fury. Chose not to shoot Matthew with the Pyrogoyf. That could come back. Tunnel vision, maybe.
Now it's gonna swing.
Attacking with Pyrogoyf and Fury now.
Response.
Unless you got something.
Cast Solitude.
Solitude.
Okay. So
exile
this
Fury.
is us.
Yeah.
Okay. So I shoot you.
Block Pyrogoyf.
Block with the token.
Start a block with the
Draw.
token. Before blocks. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, drawing 3 off the 1 ring now. This probably should have been done before attacks. I mean, if there was a Broadside Bombardiers on top of the deck, that would be... Oh, boy.
Are you guys playing for real or playing for fun?
We probably should have done that way back.
Yeah.
Think you're dead? Awful?
I mean, okay. You're playing like for real.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Pyrogoyf ends the game after all. Anthony gets it. That Pyrogoyf probably should have done something else the first time, but we got it. Mono Red Stompy gets it. GG's. GG's. Well played. Wow. Well, the Legacy format looks better than ever. We love it very much. We want no changes at all. Right, everybody? Yeah. Yeah, no changes. Bring the painting back. Yeah. Make it a band card. Yeah, why not? Why not? I want a painting that I then have to sell. Stick around for a raid, everybody. Stick around for the raid. That wraps it up for me today. Join our Discord if you're not in the Discord. And I will see everybody soon. Peace out.